You know, they're selling y'all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I back. Trust me, I back.
But I'm not impressed by your performance.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing. Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you'll do nothing.
I'll tell you what, bro. You know, I was out there, I was fighting all the hitters, bro. You ain't fought no hitters.
Come on, guys. It's normal.
I'm not saying I would fight you. I would kill you.
John, do you think I'm just gonna sit there and let you kill me, John? I mean, really?
No, don't be scared, homie.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the fuck he wants.
I am gonna beat you into the living death. I mean, maybe that's your job, but where I come from, you know, people like that get slapped.
That's fucking illegal.
Nick Diaz, you just shook up the world. How's that feel?
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yeah, this is a simulated death match. And you haven't simulated anybody's death yet.
I said it last year. We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
What is the game plan going in against him?
The game plan is you go in there, hit him with some good shit, don't get hit, and come home with a pocket full of cash.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Everybody's on steroids. The whole UFC, everybody.
I'm gonna go home tonight. I'm gonna drink a Coors Light. That's a Coors Light because Bud Light won't pay me nothing.
Do you want to be a fighter? That is my question.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? Another reaction post-fight show for you guys. I did one earlier tonight for Williams, Rosario for the PBC on Fox card. Now it's UFC 246, Conor McGregor versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. And man, was it a quick main event. Conor McGregor winning via 40-second knockout or TKO in the main event. Definitely ended the night in really abrupt, violent fashion when the previous couple fights were a little bit slow, for being honest here. And I think overall the card was a little bit lackluster. But the main event, ended again in brutal, violent, and abrupt fashion. Conor McGregor obviously setting up the finish with a couple shoulder strikes and then with the follow-up head kick. Amazing stuff. Find me at Matt Hunter MC on all social media platforms. But it should be a really interesting show today. Obviously, in the live chat, let me know your guys' thoughts on the UFC card. Hit the like button, all that fun stuff. Patreon.com/Mix Combat Radio. But digressing back to the main event, Conor McGregor, tabling all of the sexual assault allegations, which is hard to do. This was a true comeback performance. He fought let's be honest here, a top 15, a top 20-ish name at two divisions, and Donald Cerrone, one of the longest tenured fighter in the division or in the UFC, and just obliterated him. Like it was nothing. Off of a long layoff, countless issues outside of the cage, drinking and drugs, allegations. It's insane how he came back and looked back to normal, to be honest. That was the most shocking part. Not that he won, but that he looked so normal. So it was vintage Conor McGregor, and that was really surprising. I don't know how much of that is due to Donald Cerrone, just, the wear and tear in his career. How long does he have left in the tank? But regardless of that, like I said, he should not have won the fight in this easy and dramatic of a fashion. And, fights like Jorge Masvidal, which I think a lot of people, including me, kind of were wary of if you were Conor McGregor, if you're trying to think of, in his perspective, from his team's perspective. But now, maybe not so much. Maybe he can make another run at lightweight as well. Maybe he can beat Jorge Masvidal in a big, super fight on pay-per-view. Like, that seems far more likely now than just a minute ago, it seems, right? Like, that's how long it took for all of us to go, man, what does Conor McGregor have left to? Oh, no, he's back. Like, that was a vintage Conor McGregor-like performance. I don't see any other way to sort of slice it. I mean, this was Aldo Conor McGregor. This was Eddie Alvarez Conor McGregor. This was that Conor McGregor. And no one should have really expected that off of a 2-year layoff for this guy, to be honest. Like, no one should have expected that. And not having won a fight since, what, 2016? 2015 against Eddie Alvarez? I mean, let's be honest here. He hasn't won a fight in 4 years, 5 years. And he came back and beat a top 15 guy in 2 divisions. I mean, how is that not impressive? Let me read some guys in the chat, some comments in the chat. Juan David Hernandez, McGregor versus Pacquiao, 147. LOL. Get out of here. Get out, Juan. No, we're not doing that here. A lot of people saying, wow, great night. Busy night, Heath. Casual base guy. Rabisky, jump tube. Harvey saying it all sucked except Conor fight. It kind of, no, there were some fun fights. You know, there wasn't any fight of the year contender on this card, that's for sure. But there were some decent fights that we will get to, and I will slightly talk about. Rob Iman saying, I think Cerrone will retire. I mean, he said post-fight, like, he wants to keep fighting, so why would he stop? You know? And plus, he fought Conor McGregor. If he wants to go fight top 30 guys, he could probably pick up some wins, I'm assuming. But does he want to do that? Does the UFC match make him that way? That's going to be an interesting aspect. Donovan saying, what's with this whole vintage Conor McGregor? He was always the same Conor McGregor. He just got beat by better opposition. I mean, he is a guy that got dropped against Khabib Nurmagomedov. I mean, let's be honest here. Khabib, well, possibly the greatest lightweight of all time. Not really a guy that should have been knocking down Conor via right hook. That just shouldn't have happened. So, I think it's absolutely credible for anyone to say, first off, he's had 2-year layoff since the Khabib fight. Before that, he had another 2-year layoff since the Floyd fight. And before that was a year layoff since the Eddie Alvarez fight. This guy has not been fighting frequently, hasn't won a fight in 4 years. Of course, there's question marks about, does he look like he did when he was 29, 30, running through lightweight and featherweight? And he did tonight. And that was a valid question to ask going into this fight. Rob Iman saying McGregor versus Masvidal should be next. I largely agree with that, yeah. What else do we have? A lot of people talking about J-Rock Rosario. Obviously, I did a post-fight show for that. So if you guys want to see hear my thoughts on that, check it out as well. But let's get to the rest of the card, because what's next for Conor? Probably Jorge Masvidal. What's next for Don Cerrone? Hopefully retirement, like Rob Iman says in the chat. But most likely, no, that's not happening next. Let's be honest. It's Don Cerrone. Co-main event: Holly Holm versus Raquel Pennington, and perhaps really one of the worst fights of the year. It's only January, and I feel safe saying that. This is a rematch that no one asked for, that we got. It was a fight that produced largely no action, no damaging blows, nothing of any sort that made me think, oh, this is a fun fight. Holly Holm won via, I think it was unanimous decision. I don't really care. That's how bad of a fight it was. And Holly Holm is probably going to fight Amanda Nunes next in a fight that we all think Nunes is probably going to knock her out, because levels at this point in time, right? If we're just being purely honest at what Holly Holm is in 2020, she's not a top 5 fighter. She isn't. And the fact that she is most likely getting a title fight next is a huge indictment at women's bantamweight in terms of them struggling to get turnover from that past generation. While star rate 115, they've had tons of turnover, and they get new prospects all the time in that division. I mean, look at Lily Zhang. I mean, she was a prospect champion in all of, 6 months, 9 months? That's how fast that turnover is at strawweight, and how fastly we get new talent, new blood in that division. By 135, we're still talking about like people like Kat Zingano and others being relevant players at 135 and even at 145 to a degree. That's a little bit sad right now. They need to really, I think, do some talent searching and some scout searching into better prospects, to be honest, at 135. You got to get past this generation. You're still talking about Ronda Rousey generation at 135. And honestly, Amanda Nunes is also somebody that's probably close to being done as well. Moving on, Alexei Oleinik defeating Maurice Green via submission armbar in the second round. Largely a boring heavyweight fight till the submission. Yep. I'm actually going to just breeze through the rest of this undercard. Brian Keller beating Ode Osborne via submission guillotine choke. Diego Ferreira beating Anthony Pettis via submission rear naked choke. That was actually a really good performance. Anthony Pettis, man, he was actually doing some good work on the outside, but he just got pressed so easily against the fence. And his offense, if he gets pressed a little bit too much, does just fall apart. And the wear and tear on him is just clear and evident at this point in time. Roxanne Modafferi pick up a win for the old fighters, the veterans, defeating Macy Barber. Really impressive fight there. Really good grappling exchanges in that fight. Overall, probably one of the better fights on the card as well. Sadiq Youssef defeating Andre Fili via unanimous decision. Also one of the better fights on the card. And Sadiq Youssef, one of those fights where we walk away with going, yes, he is a work in progress. I think the talk and the hype around him needs to slow down just a bit. He was far too susceptible to getting hit with just really simple shots, like the jab. He was getting hit with jabs all night from Andre Fili, when he should have just been slipping that and throwing his own combination. Like a simple counter right hand off that jab would have worked against the southpaw Andre Fili. Like, he could have easily dealt with that jab, and he just didn't. He just sort of ate it and had this lazy high guard when it was a wide, loose high guard as well. Easy things to fix there, to be honest. I thought his grappling, though, looked really impressive because I thought Andre Fili probably had the better grappling advantage in this fight. But to be honest, Sadiq Youssef held his own and probably had the advantage in the grappling in that fight. Askar Askarov defeating Tim Elliott. A fun, flyweight fight. I will say this, definitely got a little bit sloppy at times, but one of the better fights on the card. Drew Dober, though, picking up a huge KO win against Nasrat Hapsarat, and that was just one of the best KOs of the night. And we're going to talk about Edler Alvarez, Michael Seals on Top Rank's card. But this knockout was just as good. So if any boxing heads out there listening to this, go check out this knockout. I believe it's on the ESPN portion of the card as well. So if you want to check it out, and you obviously watch Edler Alvarez, Michael Seals, you can go on ESPN.com and watch this card and with this fight as well. Check out this knockout. Really impressive stuff. I think it was a right hand cross or counter? I'm trying to remember exactly what the setup was, but it was just a beautiful knockout. And the follow-up ground and pound was superb. Really accurate stuff. Alexa Kamur defeating Justin Ledet. I don't even care to talk about that fight. And Sabina Mazo defeating JJ Aldridge. That was actually a really fun fight. It was a split decision. Probably you can argue decisions either way for that one, but really fun fight. Recommend watching that one as well. But again, digressing back to the top of the card, Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone. Conor McGregor picking up a early, violent, abrupt KO win against Donald Cerrone. Him winning was not surprising. How early it was, how violent it was, how explosive it was, and it was a sign that Conor is back to a degree. Excuse me. Conor is the old Conor that beat Eddie Alvarez. He's here. And maybe he's rededicated to the sport. And, God knows what's going to happen with the sexual assault allegations. But if he's found innocent of those, then it's all trains a go for the Conor McGregor hype train to continue again, in my opinion. But curious to see how that story ends up. Moving on to the boxing card, the last sort of combat sports card we're going to talk about tonight. Also, again, PBC card, Julian Williams versus Jason Rosario. I broke that down already on a separate show. So any boxing heads out there, if you want to check out any of that conversation, check it out earlier on a separate show on our YouTube channel or podcast feeds. It's not on podcast feeds yet, but will be probably tomorrow. Moving on, though, Top Rank on ESPN. Edler Alvarez picking up a violent late KO win against Michael Seals. Largely, the fight up to that point was kind of boring, a little bit ho-hum, and honestly, Alvarez was struggling in the fight. Then, boom, 1-2, dropped him, and it was done. It was lights out. He was done. And a little bit of a commotion afterwards once he woke up and realized he lost and was a little bit upset. But impressive knockout there. Probably going to be in the conversation for knockout of the year. But then again, it might be too soon. But the way he went down, and the way his back, the back of his head hit the ropes and just sort of caught him, it was a little bit picturesque. It was a Kodak moment, so to speak, right, guys? Feels nasty saying that. I apologize, Michael Seals. Really impressive stuff there. I really didn't see the Felix Verdejo fight. I'll be honest. I'll go back and watch it, and tomorrow when I have Gary and Rob on the show, we'll break down all of the boxing card more in detail. But, guys, that's going to be it for our little reaction post-fight show tonight. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Jump Tube, Smasher, Heath, Casual Base Guy, 92 Aku, SSB. Who else is here? Rob Iman, Donovan, Rabisky, Harvey, Arthur, Juan David Hernandez. Hope everyone's having a great night, great evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the fights tonight. Again, a lot of fights that happened tonight. Check out our PBC on Fox reaction show as well, with Jason Rosado picking up probably the upset of the year. And again, it's January. It's the third week of January, but I can safely say that this is going to be the upset of the year. Jason Rosado defeating Julian Williams in a shocking TKO upset. Wow. Check that one out. Plus, obviously, Chris Colbert picking up the hard-fought win over Jezreel Corrales. A lot to talk about on tomorrow's show with Gary and Rob. But, guys, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Find me at Matt Hunter, at Matt Hunter MCR on all social media platforms. Man, crazy night, guys. Have a good one. Peace.